It's been 2 weeks since Atlanta police officer Garrett Rolfe was charged with murder in the killing of Rayshard Brooks. Brooks attempted to attack him with a stolen laser after knocking him to the ground. The ordeal has been devastating for a lot of people, including Rolfe's family, surprisingly. In the first days after the shooting, his stepmother, Melissa Rolfe, was promised the full support of her employer, a company called Equity Prime Mortgage. The head of Equity Prime Mortgage texted her as much directly. Here's the quote. Feedback has been positive with support from many black folks. I'm going to send a message letting folks know you are dealing with a personal situation and we are granting you time to deal with it. He continued this way, quote, I feel for you, Garrett, Dad, and the rest. In time, you'll be back when this settles for you. But that turned out to be a lie. Just days later, the company fired Rolfe with this robotic message, quote, we have to terminate our relationship with you. Melissa Rolfe joins us tonight along with her attorney, David Goldenshoe. Thank you both so much for coming on. First to you, Melissa. It's so distressing to think, because this isn't North Korea and we don't believe in blood guilt, that a person could be fired from a job because of who that person is related to you. Do you think that's why Equity Prime Mortgage fired you?
That is my belief. I believe their timing was impeccable, and I believe that was the primary motive behind my being terminated.
Had you been in trouble with them? Was there any indication that they were going to fire you before you received the message saying you were terminated?
No, I had received full support from the president and from my direct manager that my job was not in danger. I needed to be able to take care of my family and, through the next 6 to 8 weeks and not worry about it. My job would be safe and it would be waiting on me when I returned.
At exactly the time when, of course, you need a job in the middle of a crisis like this. Has anyone from Equity Prime Mortgage called to talk to you to explain why they fired you?
No, I've not heard from anybody since I was terminated.
Where does that leave you without a job right now?
Financially, it's tough. We're having to deal with Garrett, but for us, financially, it's going to be tough.
David, Goldenshoe, thanks for coming on today. You know a lot about employment law. Is it legal in this country to fire someone because you don't like one of her relatives?
Well, Tucker, in the state of Georgia, the answer to that as a general rule would probably be you can fire them for that very, very arbitrary reason. It's not unlawful to do it under those circumstances, but it's certainly immoral. And I've handled many cases like this over 40 years. What you can't do, which is what they did do in this case, was after you graciously ran the story Thursday a week ago, their website was overwhelmed. More than 10,000 hits they got that literally shut down their website. It shut down their social media posts, and it was overwhelmingly negative. And the result of that was they went on and they made a post which was absolutely horrendous. It was terribly defamatory. It accused Melissa of engaging in conduct that created a hostile work environment at the facility. When she left on Friday before Garrett's incident, she was held in high esteem there. 4 days later, after telling her that she was being totally supported, the district attorney brought charges against Garrett, and suddenly she was terminated. They got hammered by it spontaneously by the public. And so they went on and tried to blame it on Melissa. And we look forward to having a jury of peers at some point correct this very egregious wrong.
It's almost beyond belief, Melissa. It's hard to know what kind of monster would do this. Not only did they fire you for something you had nothing to do with, something a relative was accused of, but then after they fired you, they smeared you, and let's just be honest about what they were saying, for being a racist. That was the implication. I read it, and that was clearly what they were saying. You're a racist. How do you feel about that?
Flabbergasted might be a word I would use. Extremely hurt is another one, because it couldn't be further from the truth. It's such a false statement And so it's caused worldwide embarrassment because we've had people from other countries reach out and ask, what on earth did you do? And we're not able to tell them anything.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, talk about compounding a tragedy. Melissa Rolfe, I sure appreciate your coming on tonight. Mr. Goldenshue, thank you for explaining that. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Tucker.
Good luck.
Thank you.